The NBA trade deadline is rapidly approaching. It's this Thursday, and I think there are a few teams that desperately need to make a trade. So I've compiled 4 teams that I think if they make a trade this deadline, they could make the finals. Now, if you are a fan of any of these teams, please let me know if you agree with my trade targets for them or disagree. Honestly, I'm here to hear everything. Like, comment, subscribe so I can keep making these videos, and let's jump right into it. The first team we need to talk about is the Detroit Pistons, my favorite team. Now, the Pistons have obviously started off very, very hot. I mean, they're the #1 team in the Eastern Conference, but they're still talked about in a way that kind of disrespects them. They're not talked about in the same way that people talk about the Houston Rockets, that people talk about the Denver Nuggets, or even the Thunder. I think it's kind of consensus around the league that this team is not really there yet. They still have some issues that need to get smoothed over for them to even have a shot at winning the championship this year. And I'm here to say I agree. As a fan, I agree. This offense is very, very stagnant at times. Now, obviously, the offense is not the thing that makes this team great. It's the defense. But I think if you could just up the offensive firepower a little bit without giving up too much, I think this team could have a real shot at the championship. Karis LeVert has basically just not been that good this season. I think you could move him in a trade. I've seen people say that you could move Tobias Harris in a trade because he's kind of old. I think that that's kind of stupid. I'm not a huge fan of that, but I'll talk about that as well. My 2 main trade targets for this team are Coby White and Collin Sexton. Coby White is the player I want, honestly, the most, because we have Jaden Ivey, but he's coming back from a horrific injury, and he just does not look the same. I think that we should give him some time, see how he looks after he has a full offseason under his belt, and in the meantime, we pick up Coby White for kind of a mediocre price. The reason I include Collin Sexton in this conversation is because if the Bulls are asking, honestly, just too much for Coby White, I think Collin Sexton is a good kind of compensation prize. Now, this Pistons team has the defensive structure to get the most out of these players, and I think adding some offensive firepower and some playmaking to the bench could really help this unit. Now, real quick, if you want to make a semi-big swing, the 2 names that are talked about a ton are Trey Murphy and Michael Porter Jr. Now, I'm alright with getting Michael Porter Jr. Obviously, he is a upgrade from Tobias Harris, and I think he's been great this season. It's really just how much they're asking for him. I would give up a first-round pick, maybe even a second, for him with matching contracts. I'm not a huge fan of his injury history, his defense. I'd have to see. I definitely like Trey Murphy more than Michael Porter Jr., but the price for Trey Murphy is going to be outrageous. The Pelicans also don't really seem to want to trade him, which is stupid, but, I'm not the Pelicans GM. So if they could get any of those 2 players for a reasonable price, I could kind of see myself liking that trade, but ultimately, I want one of the 2 guards. Now on to the next team I want to talk about, the Los Angeles Lakers. Honestly, it's kind of weird. The Lakers were the main team that we were hearing from in the DeAndre Hunter trade, and they were not the ones who ended up with him. The Kings were. And also, the Kings were the second choice for them. It was DeAndre Hunter, and then, if we can't get that, maybe we get Keon Ellis and Malik Monk. I guess you could still get Malik Monk, but you missed out on 2 great players that could fit on this Lakers squad. And I've seen a bunch of Lakers fans be super upset, and I completely understand. But maybe this team could get a few other players as a kind of compensation prize, right? My favorite trade target for this team is Najee Marshall. Obviously, he's kind of a perfect fit. He is a good 3-and-D wing. He already has that Luka connection. Now, the issue with this trade is I don't know if the Mavericks would ever trade with the Los Angeles Lakers again, obviously due to reasons. So if that's not a possibility, I have a few other names that I'm kind of looking at. Herb Jones would fit on this team pretty well. Same with Royce O'Neal. Now, the issue with Herb Jones is obviously the asking price. Also, again, if the Pelicans want to trade him, which I don't know if they do, I don't know why. But Royce O'Neal would be a great fit. He's a great 3-point shooter. He would bolster the defense a little bit. And I definitely think that would be good compensation for not getting DeAndre Hunter. Now, the next team that I want to talk about is the Houston Rockets. Obviously, the Houston Rockets are a good team currently, but they have a chance to make some serious noise and honestly win the championship this season. They already went all in the offseason picking up Kevin Durant, and he's played amazing so far, but they're missing something. They're missing guard play. That's the thing that honestly has just held them back this season, and I've talked about it a little bit on my channel. I mean, if they pick up a veteran guard and also maybe the Nuggets stay unhealthy, the Thunder decline a little bit, I could see them in the finals. Now, we know that Van Fleet is coming back next season. I don't know what they're going to do with him, but I think if they make a small trade for kind of a win-now player, I think that'd be fine. Also, we just saw Steven Adams go. Honestly, I think he's out for the season with a ankle surgery, if I'm not wrong, knee surgery. So that's a honestly huge blow for this team that kind of needs to be addressed. Now, there are a few players that I think could fit well on this team. My number one is Trey Jones. Trey Jones is a great offensive guy who honestly would fit well on this team. I know he's not the best defender, but this team, again, has the defensive structure to hide that. And also, he should not be too expensive to get. You probably won't have to give up that much. If you want to get a center, Yusuf Nurkic has played amazing so far this season, and he's proven to us that he is a winning player. I think if they make a trade for him, the Utah Jazz would be willing to give him up because he's kind of too much of a winning player for that organization right now. Once again, should not be too hard to get him. Kobe White, I'm going to talk about again, I think would fit really well on this team along with the Pistons. He would definitely be a little bit more expensive than the other players that I named, but I would really like him on this team. Also, it would fit the timeline a little bit better than Van Fleet. And lastly, the last team that I want to talk about in this video is the Philadelphia 76ers. The Philadelphia 76ers are kind of in a weird place. They're not as good as the previous three teams that I've mentioned, but they honestly have a chance to be. Embiid has been playing out of his mind, same with Maxey, and they have a great rookie in Edgecombe. Paul George was looking amazing for them, but he just got suspended for 25 games, so they need to get some forward depth. Here's the thing, they honestly have a really interesting trade piece in Jared McCain, somebody who I'm very high on. I think this guy could flourish on another team. I just don't think he gets the opportunities that he kind of needs to grow as a player in Philadelphia. So I think you ship him off for one of these few players. Tari Eason is my number one pick for this team. I have heard the Rockets don't want to trade him away, but that could just be posturing. If he's going to be traded away, I think you should definitely make some calls. If not, there are a few other names that I'm looking at. Saddiq Bey has been honestly really amazing for the Pelicans. I think he would be a great addition to this team, and if you don't get him, Justin Champagnie is also very good. He would add some shooting to this team. Both of these players are pretty cheap and would honestly just add some much needed depth to this team. Let me know if you like my trade targets. Let me know if it's possible, if you are a fan of these teams. Let me know if I missed anyone. I'm really looking forward to seeing some trades happen. We just actually saw, I think, Vit Krejci get traded away from the Hawks to the Trailblazers. Honestly, a big move for the Trailblazers. I think that could definitely push the needle a little bit. I'm excited to see what else happens. I definitely think that there are like 15 teams that should make a trade this season. So that's all from me for today. Peace out. Thanks for watching. See ya.